Milica, can you have a brief introduction of yourself?
Sure. Thank you for coming to visit me. My name is Milica Bravacic. Because of the problem with this name, I ask my students and people who know me to say Mila, it's easier. I come from a very beautiful old city on Mediterranean coast, which is in Croatia, Dubrovnik. And I think that is quite an important thing in my artistic process all the way from the beginning still now. Why? Because it is a kind of a nest of beauty. You should go and see one day. It is an old medieval stone town, fortified in the city walls. And because of the difference that it caused in my consciousness when I came to all the places that are very colorful in the sense of architecture, I was always very inspired. First time from this stone city, which is really stone and there are no colors around apart from strong Mediterranean light and beauty of the nature. The stone is shiny, but the whole appearance of it is the one of elegance. So when I went to do my scholarship in Portugal, there was completely another type of atmosphere with a lot of shiny decorative tiles running to me from the streets, from the facades. And that is how I started exploring the beauty of ornaments of the tiles. I think mostly because it was so different than what is my natural habitat. Anyways, coming to Singapore, it was similar experience to Lisbon, but in a completely different packaging. So here I was attracted to the beauty of Peranakan tiles and focused my attention to this and made it an inspiration for 2 cycles of work.
It is very interesting. Milica, I have a question for you. Having been living in Singapore for many years, so how did this Singapore art scene, or the Southeast Asian art scene, had changed about your art creating? And along this journey, which part of the culture had the most influence on you and had actually inspired you to create something different than you ever did before?
I think because I was interested in ornamental tile designs before, so when I came here and figured out that there is another type, another style of this production in the past in Singapore, and makes quite an important streak in the character of the city. I am sitting in front of the composition Retrosquares, which was created a long time ago in 2006. And this was my first inspiration with the elements from the Emerald Hill Road. These elements are the tile motifs that one of them is in my hand. That is a lino cut that I made according to the drawing done on spot in the street, somewhere around the middle of the street. And then I use it to stamp, like you can see it here. That same motif of a peacock appears on several other parts of the big composition. And it is here, the same thing again, on the textiles, on the silk, where I transposed it again. So the main thing about using the ornaments, it is to understand that they can become part of many things, of what you wear, of part of your interior. If you make a screen out of it, which I did for several clients. They created screens or they created blinds with these motifs, especially renovated old houses that they want to combine eclectic style of the new and old. So in that sense, I guess when we come as foreigners to a new place, we see things with more fresh eyes, you know, how you can use something that is there around you in a maybe a different way. My favorite media is actually collage. I love to work in collage. I think it's a very creative technique because it allows you to move things instantly, remove, change position, experiment all the time. And my work in classical sense is never really classical because I like to play with the format of paintings and the form of paintings. So the whole cycle, Retrosquares, is made of modular paintings, where actually the parts, like in this composition here, they are all parts smaller with bigger parts, combined in different positions. So that also allows, it's also some kind of collaging but in space, which allows you to change. I guess that's what is my credo, if you wish, in art, is that it should not bound us in any way. Even what we created, it shouldn't stop us in thinking about it from a different point of view.
As an artist, what is your philosophy in art creating?
It's one of the most difficult questions I have to answer now, because that changes as we age, as we mature, as we are exposed to experiences. This, what we think, that we believe in, changes also. And I think one of the main reasons why I respect art practice is that it's a way to reach into inner, deeper self and understand with more responsibility all the values and all the beauty that is in us. So artists are just people who are more aware of this and maybe make it possible for others to understand the importance of all these things that we do not have time to face in our daily lives, especially nowadays when everything is going to technology and it is not oriented to, it doesn't give us time to reflect enough.
I'm actually very much enjoying, sitting here and surrounded by such environments. I mean, it's so beautiful for me personally. And I mean, does this somehow inspire you to do some art?
Of course, I think, in Singapore where we all live deprived from really natural kind of setting, amongst the buildings and maybe more arranged parks and little pockets of nature which are very precious. So this bigger pocket of nature here is really inspiring for all of us who live in Wessex Estate. We, of course, some of us more, some of us less, take the inspiration from the greenery or the nature per se. I take it really as a place where I could reflect more on how it used to be in Singapore. And I'm witnessing the change every day here with now new constructions and the whole building of the media center, and all of this is going to change probably again very soon. So the Buddhist thinking of, keep the mind on the precious present moment is something that I'm learning in Singapore with speed of light. Otherwise, if you don't enjoy it now, it will be gone tomorrow. So in that sense, I've made a little bit of old hawker atmosphere with an old hawker table here and the old hawker chairs, and we have an old type of the teapot, which is the cheapest one from one of the retail shops, you know, in the area. But it all gives that feeling of, you know, we should keep a little bit track of that past, because if we don't, who is? It's kind of our duty.